Hi everyone, I'm Pat Prokop out here in the heavenly backyard garden, and this is the EON 130 millimeter refractor telescope, and this is the telescope I'm going to use to photograph the eclipse of the moon later on tonight. Now the sky at the moment is cloudy to mostly cloudy, but I'm expecting it to clear off somewhat during the event after midnight, between midnight and 4 o'clock in the morning. It looks like I'll be having fair weather conditions. That is when the shadow of the Earth will be passing over the surface of the moon. And the moon will be totally eclipsed somewhere around between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And during the total phase of the eclipse itself, the moon should turn a blood red in color. Why is that? Well, part of the reason is that the Earth's atmosphere, as the Earth is covering the moon, the shadow of the Earth itself covering the moon, rays from the sun will be passing through the atmosphere, and most of the blue, the green, and the yellow light will be scattered off into outer space somewhere. But the reds and the orange will make it through, and they'll bounce off the moon, then bounce back into our eyes here on planet Earth. And that should cause the moon to be a dull red in color. We call that a blood moon, and we should be able to see that for tonight. Where should we be able to see it? Just about anywhere in the country, but I'm also going to take a look at the cloud cover for tonight across the country. Who will be able to see it and who will be clouded on out? So welcome to Heavenly Backyard Astronomy. Let's get to work. All right, here's my setup. First of all, in NINA for positioning, and I did a orbitals going from the image tab over here, going to orbitals and selecting on the moon right here, and then loading in the moon, and there it is right there. It's going to reach its maximum elevation, or its zenith, I suppose you can call it that, at about 1:24 in the morning. That's right after the eclipse actually starts, so I'll have to do a meridian flip sometime right before that, or do it during the actual event itself. Now, going over into SharpCap, where I have everything really loaded here, there's the moon right now. I've been tracking it throughout the evening hours, and it's in the penumbral phase of the eclipse right now, but you don't know it. You can't even really tell it right at the moment. Maybe right in this area here, it looks a little dark at the time, but the actual eclipse doesn't start until about 5 after 1, and right now my time here is at 12:27 right now. So I still have another half hour yet before the actual eclipse begins. So yeah, it looks like a little bit of a shadow here. The penumbral portion of the shadow is flowing over the moon right now. Now, here's my plan. I'm in SharpCap Pro, and over in here we have the stacking, auto stacking. I'm going to click on that, and I have the parameters set, and it's going to center the moon, hopefully lock it into center in this location here. And I'm going to be taking an image every 30 seconds. Right there, and each time I'm going to reset the stack so that we'll get a clean 30-second stack each time, so you won't see much of a movement of the shadow during a 30-second time. And then I'm going to stack these into an actual file. I'm going to save it as TIFF files, and then from there I'll have the individual files, but I can also make a movie file out of that when all said and done to show the actual animation of the eclipse. So in SharpCap here, I can also look at the image the way it is without SharpCap trying to center, and it looks like it's still centered over there, so it's good to go. And the parameters I have, as far as the frame filtering and so forth, I'm letting it bring in a lot of the frames, because it's, this is not like a small planet or something. It's good to go here. So I'm not too worried about it getting out of focus and things of that nature. So the stabilization, I have it over here, setting at planet, full disk, and a single point stacking mode. And I'm going to stack to the center. So I want to stabilize the center. So I don't want to uncheck that. I want to keep it checked so the center will stay stabilized. So SharpCap will keep the moon in the center of the frame, which will make it really nice for animation. And I did a little test. Let's take a look at that right now. And close this out right here. And going into SharpCap files over here. And going into today. And stack motion test. Then I had several files here, and let's just see if it kept it in stack. There's the first file, and then if I push them on through, you can see it didn't move. It keeps it center, so that's good. That's a good thing to know. It keeps everything in center, so I'm very happy about that. All right, so that works. So I'm ready to go once the eclipse begins or commences. What I was trying to say, once the eclipse commences. I'll be ready to go. All right, little slip with the words there. Okay, back to SharpCap. And I'm going to call this moon. It's no longer a test. It's going to be eclipse. Okay, moon eclipse. And I'm going to call that 1 because I'm probably going to have another set of files when I do the meridian flip. Now, to get that to be set, I had to bring out of this and then go back into it. Okay, and there it is. All right, see, it centered it automatically. Okay. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, it is getting darker over here. You can see that portion right there already showing up. So we're still a half hour away from the actual eclipse itself, but I'm going to start the actual event going. I'm turning the reticle off here. There it is. All right, ready to go. Now I'm going to actually start it. So let's go. And over here in the time lapse, just hit start. Now every 30 seconds, it's going to take a frame. It's going to save it as a TIFF file. So I'll be doing that throughout the night. I'm going to have a bunch of TIFF files when all said and done. So, but I can handle that. Here's the satellite image from the evening hours. This is at 12:30 in the morning now, and I am right over in this area right here, and our sky is clear. So nothing to worry about here for my conditions. Let's look at the rest of the country, see what else is going on. So yeah, there's some clouds across the Mid-Atlantic coastal states and the coastal areas, and over in Arkansas, stretching back across a good chunk of Texas, southeast Oklahoma, and then the west-northwest portion of the country is under cloud cover as well, so they're not going to be able to see the eclipse of the moon. But a large portion of the country in the middle portion of the nation, here in the southeast and up in the northeast, looks like clear viewing of the lunar eclipse on the night of March the 14th, the morning of March the 14th. All right, let's take a look at the view right now. This is at 12:58 a.m. on Friday, March the 14th. And there you can see the penumbra portion of the shadow eclipsing the northwest or upper right corner of the moon itself. And that just took another snapshot there. And the actual eclipse will begin in about 10 minutes. 1:09 to be exact will be the start time for this event coming up. Now, one of the things I will be doing as the event continues, the moon will get dimmer, and I'll be riding the gain to bring up the light value so that we'll be able to see that reddish color when it gets to the totality version of the eclipse itself. Otherwise, it'll be just hardly being able to see. Right now, I'm taking images. Where are my settings over here? 6.73 milliseconds, so the frame rate is very, very fast. And I got the gain down pretty much to the unity gain of the camera itself. All right, it's now 1:15 in the morning, actually 1:16, almost 1:17, and the moon now is definitely being eclipsed, as you can see in the view right here. And I've been riding the gain just a little bit just to bring it up because it's going to be showing some reddish color soon, not quite yet. But anyway, as the moon goes in toward totality, I'll have to bring the gain way up just to be able to see the surface of the moon itself because it'll be in the Earth's shadow, and we want to get that light reflected from the Earth back to the moon, back to the Earth, so we can see the reddish blood moon. To do that, I'll need to bring up the gain, but that's coming up another about a half hour or so from now. The moon is nearly due south at its highest elevation. It has just 11 more minutes before the, actually 15 more minutes. It has 15 more minutes before it reaches the meridian right here. There's the time right there, and counting down. Now I'll have to do a meridian flip on the moon itself. In this case, it's not automatic. I'll have to do it manually, but that's okay. I can do it. The time now is 1:40 in the morning, and the moon is about half eclipsed at this time. And I also just passed the meridian. So let's take a look at that. And yeah, I just passed the meridian, so it's time to do a meridian flip. I can go up to 20 minutes past the meridian with this system the way I have it set up right now. But I'm going to flip the scope right now, so let's do that. And first of all, I want to stop the time lapse at the moment. So let's stop the time lapse. Okay, let's take a picture, a view of the live view right there. There's the live view right now. Let's just play with the gain just a little bit, just have fun. Let's just bring it up and see if we can see any shadows there. Nothing much yet. You can see a little bit of tint of orange in the view right there, but still very bright moon with that. All right, let's just keep it there and do the meridian flip right now. Okay, let's go into NINA, and just going to go into framing and just go slew and center. It should flip it around. So let's see what happens. I think I could take a peek over here. Getting some, no, let's just go back to the guider. It's on the Skywatcher EQ6R Pro mount. That's a wonderful mount. Quite quiet too. I can barely hear it. I got the window open right here. I think you're coming into the moon right there. But there it goes. Hey, look at that. It did pretty good, didn't it? I was just bragging about that mount, and look at that. It did a pretty good job. All right, it's going to fine-tune it. Excuse me, still getting over this cold. All right. Where's that green coming from? Anyway, let's bring the gain back down. Oh, I know. Let's just bring it back up again. All right, now to match the other photos, I'm going to flip this. I think I can flip it here. All right, now the next goal is to go for the totality, which we will be getting at right there, 226, and I'm currently, didn't mean to talk right into the microphone there. I'm currently 146, so I got still over a half hour to go, almost 40 minutes before it enters totality. That's when we're going to start seeing that blood moon. So, all right, let's move along. All right, now I'm only about 10 minutes away or less to totality. There you can see a very thin crescent of the moonlight, but let's bring up the gain, actually the shutter speed. Let's slow it down somewhat to about 1 second. Right now I'm at 29 milliseconds. Let's take it down to 1 second, or bring it up to 1 second, and see what happens here. There's a half a second. There's a second thereabouts. Yeah, we're beginning to see the red there in the moon itself. Let me center this up with the EQ mod. And so almost there. And I'm beginning to see the red in the moon. And when this light here is totally eclipsed off, I can bring the shutter speed down even less
or actually bring it up more to about 3 seconds, and I should start being able to see some of the stars in and around the moon itself. Wow, look at it now. The red is showing up. I really slowed down the shutter speed from about 2 or 25 milliseconds down to 2 seconds. I'm going to slow it down even more to get more of the color and see if I can start picking up some of the background stars. It's going to blow out the lit portion of the moon, but it's going into totality right now. So let's play with that. Let's increase the shutter, or decrease the shutter speed. Let's put this into pause over here and show. All right. Yeah, I'm beginning to see some of the stars floating around the planet or the moon. I'm at a little over 3 seconds, 3.16 seconds right now. And I got the gain up there to 444. Unity gain is 139, I believe, on this camera. This is the ZWO 071 color. And yeah, look at that. It's coming out pretty nice. Let's just bring it up to 3.5. There it goes. All right, let's hold on to that for a while. Put this back in production here so it'll save the images. Okay, there it is. Boy, it's certainly becoming the blood moon. It just entered totality, but still I'm getting some bright light on this lower limb here. And I still have a half hour before it gets in all the way deep into the eclipse itself. So yeah, it should turn into a nice, rich, red blood moon very shortly. Okay, I'm back. It's now just 2 minutes before the maximum totality of the full moon of the eclipse coming in on this March the 14th, 2025. And yeah, it's definitely a blood moon out there, but the southern limb here, or the lower limb, is still quite bright. So we're not going to get a totally clear blood moon out of this. It's obvious right now, but what I'm going to do at the moment is going to pause the stacking, and I'm going to see if I can see the background stars. And I'm going to use that for helping to do a superimposed image later on in post operations. So let's bring the shutter speed way up to about 10 seconds. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many stars out here. I was hoping to see more stars. I'm not. Even with the gain. Let's bring the gain way up and see what happens here. Not as good as the event that I had in 2019. But there you can definitely see some stars here. All right. Let's bring this back down to where it belongs at 5 or so seconds. Whoops. Bring it to 350. Or 343. Okay. Let's try that. Kind of looks like Mars there, doesn't it? All right. All right, that's going to be my best image, I think, right there. All right. All right, it's now Thursday mid-morning, almost 12 noon, and I've been editing this throughout the morning hours after last night's or early this morning's capture of the lunar eclipse. And I'll be making an animation, but it's going to take a while to do that. And I'll post another short video of the animation if I can get it done. Meanwhile, here's a view from the best shot here, then processed and touched up a little bit in Photoshop. There you can see definitely the blood moon and some of the stars in and around the moon itself. This was not as great as an eclipse that I captured back in January of 2019. There's that picture right there. That came out very nice. But anyway, here's the event of the eclipse leading into totality from the beginning. starting right around 1 o'clock in the morning to about 3 o'clock in the morning, a sequence of events there with the moon. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank all those who have been supporting my page. I really appreciate that with the likes, the super thanks, the Patreon membership, and the members of the joining the channel itself, and also for the buy me a coffee. Yeah, I love my coffee. Anyway, the sky is filled with majestic wonders. We just had a really great majestic event overnight with the eclipse of the moon, visible in all of North America, Central America, and most of South America. And just remember, it's all in a sky near you. So unless you need rain, clear skies, everyone.